What's up, guys? Mason the Brock Henderson here, and we're back with Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Season 6, Episode 4, Code Yellow. So I know it's been a little bit since I did any Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. reviews. Be perfectly honest, I just got caught up rewatching a show that I've watched before, but it had just been so long, and I needed something to laugh about, and it's a funny show. So if you ever get a chance and you've not seen Psych, go watch Psych. It's so good. So good. Anyways, back to this show. This episode was pretty enjoyable. Furthering the plot along a little bit, I do have some ideas based on what was shown here of what's going on, because there's still a lot that's wrapped in mystery. But we do see Deke, what he's been up to. Apparently he's opening this business, and he's been using some S.H.I.E.L.D. ideas and kind of their tech to create his own tech, and it's basically like, I'm trying to think of like a good example of what he is. He's almost like a young Steve Jobs type of person right now. Like, the company he's running is full of all this tech that's going to change the world and make people's lives better and all this stuff. So overall, I mean, it was pretty funny just to see what he's up to right now. Seeing the virtual reality that he's created, where he's all of a sudden a badass, and then of course Daisy's in there too. Got a line with him and Mac at the end where he's like, "I will give you 2% of this company if we do not tell anyone else about this." It was perfect. His girlfriend right now, and I guess now she's not anymore. At the end, it seems like now she's going to be with whatever his name is, the S.H.I.E.L.D. agent that was helping Deke. I hope she doesn't come back. She was probably the only part of this episode I'm just like, this is not Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. type of humor. This is not typically the type of humor they have in this show. This is more like, I don't know, it's just very annoying. And probably because she is reflecting a bit of reality right now, like those influencers and stuff. Like, she really does reflect reality in that sense. So I don't know, like, it just seemed weird. It seemed like she just was not enjoyable, for me at least. I don't know. I don't know how to describe it. I just know I didn't like whenever she was on the screen. Especially later on in the episode when she goes into the business and then Deke has to go and save her. And I'm just like, my God. Oh, this is painful to watch. But yeah, so we see Coulson and, well, not Coulson and his team. Apparently they're going after Deke. They already went and killed some other guy at the beginning of this episode. And I'm starting to get a grasp of what they're up to, because we see back at the base, everything going on with Keller. He ends up getting the bat, whatever it is. He gets inside of him, and then they have to kill him to get rid of the bat. Kind of upset about that. Again, I think I talked about this in a previous episode, but I wanted to see more of what he and Yo-Yo were going to be as a couple, because they seem like they're actually going to be a pretty interesting couple. And even at the beginning of this episode, he goes to tell Mac about it, and Mac even kind of cuts him off and says, "Look, if you tell me this, it's going to affect how I sort the teams, and I'm going to uphold that policy. So maybe do you not want to tell me about this?" Like, he knows, but he's okay with it because it's part of the business, and they're all adults, and they're not going to act childish about all of this. And he doesn't want to keep them apart because they work well as a team too. So I like that scene, but then they kill him off at the end of the episode. I'm just like, well, now that's done. So what was the point of all of this? I don't know. It just seemed a little rushed, in my opinion. I felt like they still had more they could have done with it. But what I think is going on, I don't exactly know everything, but I feel like Coulson and his team are not necessarily the bad guys. Like, I'm not saying they're good guys either. Clearly, they've done a lot of awful things, and they're willing to kill whoever to get the job done. But it feels more like they're kind of mercenaries, and these bats that they're hunting down are kind of the actual problem. I don't know, what the bats are called. I don't know what they're maybe, I don't know if there's somebody representing them. I don't know, but they seem to be hunting them down in a bunch of different realities. And so it kind of almost feels like, whenever they lose the world to the bats, that's when they just sort of pop out and head to another world and try to stop them there. Because we saw that one video of all the bats flying around the world blowing up, and then Coulson's like, "All right, guys, let's get out of here." So I think they try to stop them from taking over the world. They try to stop them from destroying everything. And if they can't, then they have to hop into another reality and try to stop them there. That's just what it seems like to me. And so maybe the ruthlessness has just come from the fact that they have been to so many worlds and they've lost so many worlds that they're willing to do whatever it takes to get the job done, even if it means some innocent people lose their lives along the way. Um, and so, because of the fact that they're doing that, I think that's why Deke shows up on the radar, because he's not from this reality. He's from a different reality entirely. And I think whatever that radar is, it scans for people from a different reality. Which I do have to wonder. I guess technically now it would be their reality now that they've changed how history goes. I don't know. It is a little bit weird. It's like, but they did technically go forward in time and then they came back. So wouldn't that mean that they are from a different reality? Because they came from a reality where the world did get destroyed and then they went back and changed it so it didn't I don't know how it works. I don't know how all that works. But I do feel like that's kind of where it's headed, though, is that we're going to find out Coulson and his team are not necessarily the bad guys. They're just a group of rough, tough people that are doing bad things for a good purpose type of thing. So yeah, ultimately, I'm excited to see what else is coming next. Obviously, May is now captured by Coulson, and I already forgot the name of the girl now. Honestly, Jocko sticks in my head, but I don't remember the girl's name, the one that calls everybody a butterfly, and I don't remember the other guy's name. But they did manage to capture Jocko and the other guy, S.H.I.E.L.D. did, and then Coulson and the girl got May. So, yeah, I don't know. I guess possibly May will find out what they're there for, and maybe they'll sort of discover that they're not on different sides, like they both want to keep the world from being destroyed. That's kind of what I'm getting a sense of here. But who knows? We'll see. But yeah, all in all, so far so good. It's exciting. It's got my attention. I want to see what's going to happen next. And apparently season 7 is coming to Netflix on Friday, the final season. So I'm almost kind of tempted to just watch all the way through to the end and see how it ended. Maybe. I'm considering it. Anyways, that's it for this episode. On to the next one. See you there. Now episode 5, The Other Thing. So again, really pushing the story along and getting more and more interesting as we continue. Because, I mean, there's so many moving pieces, and I feel like they're all sort of interconnected, but they're their own stories as well. So the stuff with Enoch and, finding out about the Chronicoms and their world getting destroyed, honestly would not be surprised if we find out that it's actually this, whatever the name is, I've already forgotten, Patsopikuk or something like that. I don't know. I'll try to remember it next time I say it. But yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if that's what ultimately is what caused the destruction of the Chronicom world. So I wouldn't be surprised if that somehow ties in with what's going on. Not really sure how I feel about the whole Enoch storyline, though, because, he's just sort of gone back and forth as being, a kind of funny character, to being a cool character, to being an annoying character, and it sort of bounces back and forth, so I don't really know how I feel about it, because, in this episode, he had his funny moments when he's talking to the other Chronicom, and he's like, I can't believe I let you access my data protocols, or whatever he said. So clearly, they have a history, and you can tell that, and I like the fact that, he is sort of changing. He's not really emotionless anymore. He has feelings. He is more than just an AI at this point, it feels like. Whereas the other girl that we see, or I guess she's a Chronicom, so she looks like a girl, but apparently they don't have gender. But Atara, I think is her name, we see that she is still kind of emotionless, and she's willing to do whatever it takes to find out what happened, a way to save her planet. And if she can't, well, then there's no need for you, so I'm just going to kill you all. So, yeah, it's kind of interesting to see the differences there. But I don't really know how I feel about Enoch. Because he's just... At first, it seemed like he was going to be an interesting character. It seemed like, okay, he and Fitz are sort of forming, a friendship. And then, I don't know, he just... Somewhere along the way, he hit that one episode at the casino where all of a sudden he starts doubting himself. And then he's, questioning, friendship and who he is. And in this episode, he kind of betrays Fitz by telling them Simmons is what can motivate him to work harder, and then tries to give up the rest of the crew. And then he's helping Atara motivate Fitz to do... I don't know. That's the thing. It's I don't really know what his motivations are. And I'm just kind of confused. I don't think they're really doing a good job, I guess, making him a consistent character. It seems like he's kind of popping back and forth between being funny and then being annoying and then being kind of a bad guy. I don't know. But yeah, that's kind of the one thing in this episode that stood out to me is just not as good as the rest of the episode. The rest of it was enjoyable though, getting to see, you know, the team really find Fitz for the first time, even though he's not in the ship, and getting to see them sort of like try to find a way out, but then Gemma realizes the only way for them to get out is for her to help and work with Fitz. So it'll be really nice to finally see them reconnect. I don't know when that's finally going to happen, but hopefully soon. And then back on Earth, we do see the one side, we see the doctor. I already forget his name now. Names are so hard for me for some reason. But he's looking into the thing that infiltrated Keller, and he's like just studying the materials. And we come to find out apparently it's connected to the monoliths. And there's the one that they said, well, we never found out what that one does. Maybe this is what that one does. Maybe this is the portal that these S.H.I.E.L.D come through. I don't know. But it's interesting to see that that's kind of what is all connected to, I guess, is the best way to put it. Like, I like that connection. I like that there's something there. Of course, Coulson talks about the Pachatutik, or whatever it's called, is the one controlling all the strike. He's the one that goes to each world. And essentially, if they cut off the limb, it draws him to the world, and then he's going to destroy everything to make sure Pachatutik, or whatever he's called. I'm probably way off. I want to say it's Pachatutik, but it's probably not that. He wants to basically destroy everything to make sure he takes him down. So, again, like I was kind of thinking, he's not really the bad guy. His team is not the bad guys this season, but they're not necessarily good guys. They're willing to destroy everything in this world to make sure they kill this one being that they've fought so hard against for so long. But the really main part about all of this, though, that was the most enjoyable, of course, is just seeing kind of the mystery of who this Sarge is. You know, what's his relation to Coulson? You see there's a lot of similarities to what he was saying on the island with May and what Sarge is saying to May right now. So, I don't know, it's very interesting. And I truly don't know. I don't know what the answer is going to be. It could be that I don't know, maybe a different reality Coulson, maybe they made a clone of Coulson, possibly. Like, maybe S.H.I.E.L.D. made a clone of Coulson and sent him back in time. And so this is that Coulson that went back in time and went to another world. I don't know. I really don't know. And it's very intriguing, and I'm very curious to see what happens. Like, what's going to happen. I don't know. It's exciting. That's one of the things that really I love about Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. is how just intriguing it is and how many different possibilities they can raise. Because it really does raise a lot of really good questions. So, yeah, I'm excited to see what's gonna happen. We do see May does manage to capture Sarge and knock out Snowflake, so she's bringing them back. I do think this will kind of start. I don't know if they'll end up working together. They might. There's always that kind of what's it called? Team up of convenience, where you have to sort of team up with bad guys for a good reason. And so maybe they will try to team up with them and be like, look, if you're going to help us fight these Shrike and this Pachatutik, you're going to have to do it our way. No killing innocent people, no blowing up everything to deal with him. We're going to fight him our way. So yeah, I am curious to see how that's going to happen. I am also very interested to see how Daisy's going to react to seeing Coulson again. But yeah, I think that's about it, though. I'm really excited. I think it's going to be fun however this season comes to an end. And like I said, if I can finish in the next, well, Friday is tomorrow. So if I finish today, maybe I can watch season 7 tomorrow and get it all done and see how this whole show came to an end. But anyways, with all that being said, on to the next episode. See you there. And episode 6, Inescapable. I went to IMDb because I'm just like, if this is not the best episode this season, I will be shocked. It's the best episode so far. I knew that much. I wasn't sure if it was going to end up being the best of the entire season or what exactly. Okay, yeah, it's the best one of the season. I'm not surprised. It doesn't get much better than that. And there's so many good characters on this show. Like, I love the team. Obviously, Daisy's awesome. Coulson's awesome. May is awesome. Mac is awesome. Yo-Yo's had her moments, but for the most part, she's pretty cool. Enoch has his moments. He's not really been around as long as the rest of the team, but he's coming along. He's doing okay. Fitz-Simmons is the best part of the show, in my opinion. There's just so... Again, I'm not somebody who typically likes whenever comic book superhero stuff tries to do relationships. Because most of the time they do it poor. Most of the time it distracts from the plot. And you're just kind of sitting there going, can we get back to the action, please? Can we get back to the story? Somehow they have written Fitz-Simmons in such a way... I can't wait to get back to Fitz-Simmons most of the time. Because they've always got something going on. They've always got interesting stories. This was an episode entirely based on Fitz-Simmons. And it was amazing. It was fantastic. Everything to do with the memory prison, everything to do with Fitz finding out about what happened, to the other him that went to the future and then came back with them from the future, died. Just how would you react? How would you react if you found out, wait a minute, that's me. That's me from the future. That was my future. And it is kind of weird when you think about it, because if it is a loop, then this Fitz should have to go to the future to come back. But of course, the Marvel timeline they talked about in Endgame, like how time travel doesn't really work like that in the MCU. It's more like whenever you do something, it creates a new branch. So on this new branch, Fitz no longer has to travel to the future to save the world, because that's not going to happen anymore. So technically they can do this and get away with it. I don't know if they're going to talk about that in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., because they did talk about it in Endgame, but I don't know for sure. But yeah, like, how would you react to finding that out? It would be insane. And then all of the stuff going on, you get a glimpse back at Fitz's dark side. You find out about Simmons' dark side, which we've not really discussed that often, but I mean, to join S.H.I.E.L.D., to be able to do all this stuff and to experience all of this without suffering a mental break, clearly, you're going to have that side of you. And like she said, it was all of this pushed into a little box, and when it all releases, you see what it is. It's basically the girl from The Ring is honestly what I was picturing whenever she crawled up out of the box like that. But yeah, like, just delving into their backstories a bit, delving into the moments that changed who they were, talking about their dark sides and how it affects them, talking about their relationship when they're trapped in the containment pod, and just how each of them have hurt each other and how awful it is, but also, like, how they've tried to help each other, but how that has affected them too. It was just all so well written. And then, of course, you have your great moments, like, oh man, whenever they stepped out of that containment pod, like, I wasn't sure what to expect. I almost kind of expected them to just hop out of the containment pod. They're like, we got to face this together, and then they're back in the room like, we're good. But for them to hop out of the pod, and then Hydra Fitz and Ring Girl Gemma are just going at it, it's very Marvel. It's very Marvel of them to do that. It was perfectly timed too, because like, all of this emotion has been building up. All of the emotion in the entire episode has been building up, and it just all hit the fan in that moment in the containment pod. Like, so many cascading different emotions, like fear, anger, frustration, sadness. Like, all of it was just building up, and it was not really a fun episode. It was very sad and heartbreaking. And then you get to this moment, and it all finally hits the fan. They just release it all on each other, and then they realize we got to do this together. And then to end with that scene, with the two of their dark sides getting it on. Yeah, it was just a nice moment, because like, it really did feel like the climax was not them facing off against their dark side. it was them in the containment pod finally letting each other know, hey, this is what's on my mind. Because that is what it takes to be in a relationship, is communication, talking things through, figuring things out. Hey, this bothered me. Tell them about it. Don't just put it into a little box and hide it away. But also for Fitz, don't always try to fix every single problem, because sometimes that creates bigger problems. So it's like they really talked about what a relationship is and how a healthy relationship should happen with these two very messed up characters who've been through hell and back. And it's just perfect. It was absolutely the perfect episode. And again, as somebody who doesn't normally like relationship stuff distracting from the plot, this felt like a very much needed moment for Fitz and Simmons, because they both have been through so much. Yeah, this is perfect. This was the perfect episode for that. So yeah, very, very good episode overall. The only problem I really had is finding out Fitz was a Manchester United fan. He's been one of my favorite characters, but I will say that now he can die, and I just won't really feel anything, because really, who likes Man U? Nobody. Come on. Where's my... Yeah. It's the only Chelsea thing I had nearby, so I'm just going to show it off anyways. But yeah, in the end, we see Enoch does help them, which is good. Again, bump up in his character. Still don't really know what his motivations are. Still think he's kind of just there to make things difficult, but then also fix things at the same time. So they got to figure out what they want to do with Enoch and stop just making him a plot device at the moment. And then, of course, you've also got back on Earth, Daisy and Mac are catching up, finding out what's going on. Mac finds out what's going on with Fitz-Simmons, and then Daisy finds out what's going on with the Shrike and the fact that they're on the planet right now. So, yeah, it feels like things are finally, I guess, converging into one main storyline. But yeah, it's very, very well done, and again, definitely the best episode so far, and according to IMDb ratings, which I don't trust because most of the time they're wrong, but best episode in the entire season, and I would not be surprised if that's true. So, yeah, very enjoyable. Love Fitz-Simmons, they're the best. And, yeah, that's it for me. So let me know what you guys think down in the comment section below. What were your thoughts on this episode? Let me know. We can talk about and discuss all that good stuff. Leave a like and subscribe for future Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. reviews, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace out.